Welcome back to Gaming Grounds. It's your boy Action Jack, and I know it's been a while, you know what I'm saying, but I've been through the process of actually moving into a new spot, new location, getting everything hooked up. Of course, going through Spectrum, trying to get my internet right, trying to get back some of my products that I let people borrow, just trying to get everything situated. But, back on track with these videos, and that's my whole plan, my whole game plan. I've been dying not being able to make these videos because from a mixture of the content that's been coming out, from the debacles and the anger on Twitter for certain things, kind of like with the Switch Lite today and the national decks with Pokemon, or people showing issue with if Gears of 5 is not good with Xbox, or what Sony's doing with the PS5 coming up. It's just so much that I want to talk about, so much I want to get out, to the point to where I feel like I just need to do a podcast for all this shit, for real. So honestly, today my main focus is only going to be on the Nintendo Switch Lite, because that is the latest and greatest news, and I just really needed to get everything fresh off of my chest with this, from just a little bit that I've seen on Twitter, as well as from the videos and everything that I've seen people make. I just wanted to go ahead and give you my viewpoint on it, and then also kind of try to give some opinions on some of the questions that I saw on Twitter, as well as try to debunk some of the nonsense that I've seen come across Twitter with some of the haters that either don't like Nintendo, want to go just all pro with stuff, or just people just giving their opinions. I can understand for some, but some of them, you can tell they're just deliberately upfront, just trying to find and make issue with any and everything that gets announced outside of their particular camp that they support and they stand for and they wave the flag for. So if you like what you just heard as far as this intro goes, please stay tuned and just wait for this video, man, because I guarantee you this is going to be a hot one for you. As I said before, welcome back to Gaming Grounds. It's your boy Action Jack, and like I said, today the main topic of this video is going to be about the Nintendo Switch Lite that was just introduced by Nintendo. For most of us, with all the rumors, we determined whether we believe there will be a pro version or a mini version at the time before the actual title of Lite came out. But like I said in my previous videos, I was 95% sure that we would see a mini before we saw a pro. I'm still iffy on the pro, and even if it is coming, you won't see it this year. If anything, you'll see it next year around the same time you start seeing what Scarlet looks like and start seeing what the PS5 is going to be about. And I think that's kind of part and play why Sony is releasing the specs and everything right now. So you kind of get that part out the way. That's not a big issue for anyone, and you just kind of focus on what it looks like and what games are going to come to it when they do release it. But to get into the Nintendo Switch Lite, this beginning portion of the video is more or less for those that haven't heard about it, don't know what's the difference between the main Switch that we have now and the Switch Lite that is due to come out September 20th of this year for $200. I'll give the breakdown of the color variants, what it can and what it can't do compared to the Switch we have now, as well as my takes from what I saw and what I expect from the handheld itself. To get into it, like I said before, the date of release is September 20th. The price of the Switch Lite is going to be $200, and it also comes in 3 color variants, from turquoise, gray, and yellow. There will be a Pokemon specific edition, or I guess you could say like a special edition from Pokemon Sword and Shield that will release November 8th, as well as it doesn't come with the game because the game comes out like a week later, but nonetheless it's to kind of go along with the launch of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm pretty sure they'll tie the anime and everything else into it as well. To go a little bit further into the differences between the two, the main Switch, for those that don't know, you can play it in 3 different forms, hence the name of Switch, which you can play in handheld mode, tabletop mode, which would be when you put out the kickstand and share controllers and just play off the main screen of the Switch. And of course you have the TV out version to where you play exactly to the TV. The main features that are missing from the Switch Lite when it comes down to that, to where people are finding issue with the title still being Switch. You can only do handheld. You can't put out to the TV. And even though you look at the website itself as well, Nintendo's website, they said that you can't do tabletop mode, but they also mentioned that you can take Joy-Cons and play 1-2 Switch strictly off of the Switch, but you just have to have separate Joy-Cons. So to me, that still would be tabletop mode, but I don't know. I'm not quite sure where Nintendo, I guess, kind of going with that in regards to what is classified as tabletop mode and what isn't. But if they're just speaking from a standpoint of, oh, you can't prop it up, then okay, yeah, it's no tabletop, but you can always buy tons of accessories, even Nintendo licensed accessories to prop up your Switch as well as charge it at the same time. Also, to get into a couple of things that are missing, the regular Switch has a HD rumble, which is more like an advanced rumble feature. The Switch Lite won't. There is an IR mode to the actual Switch, which, you know, you can do certain things within 1-2 Switch, and that so far has been the only thing I've seen outside of Resident Evil, to where you can do a reload feature. That won't be on the Switch Lite. There will still be motion control. I think a lot of people get the IR motion camera confused with motion controls. You still have gyro to where you can move the console around, because there are certain features or certain games such as Breath of the Wild, to where there are certain puzzles. I think Mario Odyssey has some stuff, and then of course for those of us that play Splatoon 2, to have those gyro controls, they kind of have to keep that there. The NFC mode is still there, so you can use your amiibos with both the Switch and the Switch Lite. There's no detachable Joy-Cons for this particular Switch, and honestly, that kind of comes down to the differences outside of the size, the weight, the battery life, and you know, all the little small intricate things. And I don't want to get into the whole battery life situation, considering the fact that on paper, yes, the regular Switch right now is sitting at what, 2.5 or 2 to 6 hours, depending on what you played, to where now they're saying 3 to 7. Like I said, I think depending on who you are, how you play, whether you take Wi-Fi off, lower the power, not power, but the screen, what am I trying to say? The brightness of the screen, it can differ. I mean, you can make the battery whatever it is that you want it, for the most part, depending on what you're playing and what settings are on and what are off. So I would say, just, you know, if you've had good experiences with the battery when it comes down to the Switch, then the Switch Lite is touted to be better with the battery power. Okay, so now between the comparisons, that would be your only differences, to be truthfully honest. If anything else, it would be so small that you probably wouldn't notice if I haven't covered everything. Now, to get into what I feel the main purpose of this was for Nintendo, we have this day and age to where I don't think a lot of consoles can last longer than the typical 5 to 6 year period, because people are so eager to hear the latest and greatest and to get something new. We had the mid-generation upgrade for the Xbox and the PS4, to where we got the Xbox One S for the Xbox, and we had the PS4 Pro for the actual, you know, PlayStation 4, and then later we got the PS4. I mean, not PS4, but the Xbox One X. But those were kind of like your mid-generational upgrades, and that's due in part to where we kind of get long in the tooth with some systems, but people are just impatient. I think the Switch Lite is a great idea to keep the sales up for the Nintendo Switch, keep the attention going. Even though it's selling like hotcakes right now, you always want to kind of keep that new feel with people, and they're going to eat up the Switch Lite. It was much in the same vein with the Nintendo DS. Nintendo DS Lite killed. So you're not going to miss out on anything, whether you get either or. But if you are specific to playing in handheld, the Switch Lite is definitely for you. If you feel like the Switch is too big, the Switch Lite is for you. If you don't want to shell out $300, the Switch Lite is for you. If you don't like modular controls to where things disconnect to where they can possibly be broken or lost, the Switch Lite is for you. If you like the customization, the different colors, and all the other things that we know Nintendo are going to do, the Switch Lite is for you. Not to say that the Switch doesn't have special variants, but they're very, very minimum in how they actually are customized. The body of the Switch is always the same. The Joy-Cons tend to be the one thing that does change, and then the dock itself might have something etched on it, but it still has that plain black color to it. There's nothing that really differs. But with these Switch Lites, you already see with the yellow, the turquoise, the gray, and then like I said, the Pokemon Sword and Shield variant. They're going to do their customization much in the same vein they did the 3DS. But this to me is a great move for Nintendo. I plan on picking one up, not because of my kids, but because I like new hardware, and then also I really like the way it looks, and if it really fits and it feels good, then I'm definitely gonna pick it up. I had a 3DS, I picked up the 2DS. Even I'm talking about the door stopper 2DS. I like the way it felt. I like the way that the 2DS XL felt even better. So I'm not going to go into this, even if I didn't like it, I'm not going to go in this saying, oh well, they shouldn't have done it. If it's not my cup of tea, then I just leave it alone. Okay, they came up with a Switch Lite, and then we'll just wait for them to do whatever. For most, it's the Switch Pro that they're waiting for. There should be one coming. I mean, I don't know if it'll get announced anytime soon, but I think they'll really wait until those other two companies present what they have going on right now. They just have names. Well, Xbox has names with the Scarlet, but PlayStation 5, I think that's gonna definitely be the definitive name for it. So they're just waiting until we see a little bit more from them, and instead of just, you know, renders and talk about specs, because that's not what Nintendo is about anymore. They're not about talking about specs since GameCube. So Nintendo's main focus is doing things a little different, and we just heard news about them getting ready to try to revolutionize the controller again. So that can be their big driving force. Hey, we got a new Switch, probably gonna go the same line as the DS family, to where we got the Switch Lite, just like the Nintendo DS Lite. They're probably gonna call it the Switch XL. It wouldn't surprise me. And with alongside presenting the Switch XL, you're going to also get the brand new revolutionized controller that they're gonna look to make it the standard, much like they've done analog sticks, D-pads, rumble, the whole nine. Like, Nintendo's been on it, and that's what they're looking to do. But as far as the hate and lash out that I've seen for the Lite, I'm kind of confused. Most in part is just people buying so much into rumors that they were for sure the Pro was going to be announced first and or this year. So I excuse those people because they cause their own demise. When it comes down to those that say this isn't great for the Switch, that this doesn't make sense, and they want you to take the business aspect out of it, this whole thing is about business. It's about them making money, about them keeping the Switch brand relevant. Yes, it's selling, but at the same time, things are kind of quiet because not all three companies are involved right now. Sony and Microsoft are, you know, preparing for next year. Nintendo's the only one out here for real. So keep it fresh. Don't turn into a Madden or NBA 2K to where you're just riding on what you've already released because there's no competition. Nintendo's trying to keep it fresh, trying to keep the Switch alive and well, and putting out commercials and giving people something different, and giving that demographic that may be tired of the 3DS because it's starting to phase out and it's not getting anything new per se. Give them something to look forward to because they don't want to enter that $300 price point. They want the $200 entry point, and this is great for them. This is a great way for them to jump from the 3DS and go straight into the Switch at a $200 price point. And if they ever want to, okay, now let me upgrade because I didn't enter this with a lot of money, so I'm comfortable with what the price point I came in at. I like the Switch for what it is now that I've played it. Okay, now I may jump up because now I want those other features. Or they may just stay where they are. You just never know. There's a lot of things that companies do that we have to take ourselves out of it and look at it from the business side of it. And even if you don't want to look at it from the business side, and you just want to see as a consumer and you wanted the Pro and you wanted something to upgrade, okay, wait, be patient. It's the same way with the Metroid crowd. Be patient. They've already said that Metroid is coming. wait. When it comes down to the Pro, we all understand that it's a possibility. It's going to happen. Or an XL or whatever you want to call it. So wait out. Do you really have an issue with your Switch so much right now that you need more power? Is there really a game that you're dying for right now that needs to be on the Switch because you don't own any other system or a PC? I highly doubt it. And for those that are like, oh, well, you know, I can't afford to get another console and I really want to play these other games, then you might want to pick another hobby. Because gaming is an expensive hobby. There's nothing cheap about gaming, period. I hate to be the one to break it to you. You don't have to be in the know and you don't have to play everything. I would have loved to get another PS4 to play Spider-Man. But I don't have that kind of money like that. So I waited. I went to my grandmother's house. My cousin was there. He has a PS4. He has Spider-Man. I played it. I didn't like it that much. So I saved myself some money. So if this is not for you, move on. Don't complain about it. Just move on. It's not for you. The Switch itself is not going away. This is just an alternative. So if you don't like the alternative, stay with the primary. It's not the main console. It's not phasing out anything. It surely isn't phasing out the 3DS. The 3DS is still going to be around because there's still going to be people that are like, hey, look, there's nothing there for me as of yet. But I guarantee you, the 3DS will slowly start dwindling away the moment March comes around, because you know what comes out in March? Animal Crossing. So that's my thought process on it. Honestly, when it all comes down to what the next move is and how people feel about it, it's just a time and now situation. Once when the time fades, the system comes out in less than 2 months, it'll pop up. Popularity stop popping up. People start showing off their Switch Lites and seeing how good it looks and saying how good it feels and how it runs and, you know, how they, you know, like the way Nintendo did it. The ones that said that this was a stupid idea are gonna cave and they're gonna go and buy it. It's as simple as that. They just got to get it out first. They got to get that I don't understand it, so I'm afraid of it, or I don't like it because I don't understand it. So then when those that are in their circle start telling them, oh, this is a great idea, and then they start understanding it and trying to embrace it, they'll cave and say, okay, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm going to now purchase it. There's nothing to be confused about. I'm going to purchase it. So I say, congratulations to those that only want a handheld and nothing more. Congratulations to those that were waiting for a lower price point to enter from the 3DS into the Switch, because I know they want to play Pokemon regardless of this whole national Dex bull. Congratulations to those that only want to play Animal Crossing handheld. You got this, and it's, like I said, a lower entry point, so now you can get, I'm assuming, everything together if you want the Switch as well as Animal Crossing, $260. Same thing with Pokemon. Yeah, it's $60. This is something different. So, but like I said, 260, or for some, it's not gonna be 260. It's gonna be 320 because they're gonna get both versions. But that is my piece on it for what it is, how I think it's a great idea, and my idea of why I think people are complaining, but at the same time, it's not, to me, it's not warranted. So if you take issue, wait for the Pro if it comes. If not, enjoy your Switch. And if you were never going to purchase it anyway, shut the up. Thank you for your time. This has been your boy Action Jack. I'm out. Peace.